Hello everyone, this is Himabindu from the Department of CSIT. Today in this video, I would like to explain about the conversion of Moore machines to Mealy machine. So in previous videos, we have discussed about the Moore machine construction and Mealy machine construction. And what is meant by finite automata with output? So we already discussed all these topics. We have to revise that finite automata with output is how many machines are there, without output how many machines are there. So here the without output we already discussed about the discriminate finite automata, non-discriminate finite automata, and epsilon NFE. So epsilon NFE. And here without with output we have to discuss about the Moore machine and Mealy machine. So here Moore machine we already discussed how to construct a Moore machine and Mealy machine, and now in this video I would like to explain about the construction or conversion of Moore machine to Mealy machine. So let's discuss with the example. So here what we have taken, we already done Moore machine construction, and here we have to convert that Moore machine to Mealy machine. For this one, what we have to do in this, let's draw the transition table for the Moore machine. So here what is the transition table? Transition table. So for transition table for Moore machine, what we have to take in the sense, here the states, here how many states are there? Here in the sense 2 states are there. So here the state names, we already discussed what is meant by transition table in the previous videos, not in the construction of DFA or NFA and whatever it is, we have discussed the transition table. And next we have to write the input symbols. So these are the input symbols. So how many input symbols are there? So let's find first what is the input symbols, how many input symbols are there and output symbols are there. So what is the input symbol here? A comma B are the input symbols, and what are the output symbols here? These are the output symbols 0 comma 1. So here for every input symbols what we will get? So 2 input symbols what we have? A comma B, and what is the output symbol? Either 0 or 1. So we will draw the transition table for this one first. And from the Q0, it is going to the Q. When you give 0 A as an input, it is going to Q0 only. And from the Q0, when you give B as an input symbol, it is going to the Q1. So what is the state output contains in the sense 0 for the Q0 state. And for the Q1 state, if you give A as an input symbol, it is going to the Q0. And so from the Q1, if you give B as an input symbol, it is going to the self loop. So it is the same state. And what is the output here? The 1. So this is how we have to draw the transition table for the given Moore machine. Let's convert this transition table and we will construct to the Mealy machine. So here for the Mealy machine, what we have to do in this sense, lambda. It is a transition of output. So lambda dash of Q0 comma, we have to take for every input symbols for the states. So Q cross sigma. So transition function is a Q cross sigma. Like this, here also we will get. So lambda of transition of Q0 comma A. So what is the Q0 comma transition of Q0 comma A in the sense Q0 A, it is going to lambda of Q0 itself. So what is the output here? Lambda of Q0 in the sense, what is this is the output transition. Output transition. Output transition function. So what is the output? Lambda of Q0 is 0. And for the same output transition function, we have to construct every state and every input symbols. So lambda dash Q0 to B. So we have taken A input symbol and let's check for B input symbol. Lambda of transition of Q0 comma B. So Q0 comma B, where it is going? It is going to the Q1. So Q1 and lambda of Q1 is equal to 1. And next, so lambda of dash Q1 comma A. So Q1 comma A, so lambda of transition of Q1 comma A. So where it is going? So Q1, from the state Q1, if you give A as an input, it is going to the Q0. So lambda of Q0 is nothing but, what is the output? So 0. And lambda dash Q1 comma B as an input, and lambda transition of Q1 comma B. So lambda of Q1 comma B. So if you give B as an input, it is going to the self. So Q1. So where it is going? 1. So how to construct A? So we already noted down what is the output for every input symbol. Let's same draw for this transition table to the Mealy machine. So what is the transition table for Mealy machine in the sense? Here how many states are there? Q0 comma Q1. So here we have to check for every input symbol what are the output symbols we will get. So here it is the input symbol, output symbol, input symbol, output symbol. So here if you give in A as an input symbol, what is the output symbol we will get? If you give B as an input symbol from the state how many states are there? What is the output symbol? So here from the Q0, A as an input symbol, it is having Q0, and what is the output? 0. And Q0 B as an input symbol, it is having Q1, and what is the output? 1. And from the same thing, the Q0 Q1 A as an input symbol, it is going to the Q0, and it is having the output 0. And from the B state input symbol B, it is going to the Q1, and it is having 1. So same thing, let's draw this transition table to transition diagram. We will get the Mealy machine. So let's Mealy machine. So it is having the two states. Let's start with state Q0 and Q1. So for here, so here in the state itself is not having the state. Why? Because in Mealy machine there is no state in this one. So along with the input symbols, it is having the output also. So from the state A, Q0, if you give A as an input, it is going to the Q0 itself. And from B, it is going to B as an input symbol, it is going to 1. Give as a 1 as output. And from state Q1, so it is going B. If you give A as an input symbol and 0 as an output symbol, it is going to the Q0. And if you give Q1 B as an input, and it will get the output. So here we have constructed a Mealy machine. So this is how we have to construct convert Mealy machine to Mealy machine. Let's take another example. So here in the it is a Mealy machine, which we already know that it is having the states. It is having the states input, outputs, as well as state names as well as output. So we already discussed in Mealy machine. So it is having the output symbol as well as along with the states names. And here what is the input symbol for this one? So how many input symbols are there here? A comma B. So A comma B are the input symbol, and what are the output symbols we have? 0, 1, 0, 1. So 0 comma 1. This is the binary outputs. So whenever there is a sequence of A or BB, we will get the output 0, 1 or 0 or 1. So here we have to convert this Murray mission to Mealy mission. So what is the first step we have to do for this one in the sense? We have to convert a transition table for the Murray mission. So Murray mission transition table is having the state names. So how many states are there? 0. 3 states are there. So for this one we have to construct a 3 states and we have to take the how many input symbols are there? Input symbols. So input symbols A, B. And what is the output symbol? What we will get by seeing the 2 input symbols. So from Q0, if you give A as an input, it is going to Q1 and it is having the 0 as an output. And from the Q0, B as an input, it is going to Q0. And so these steps, this output is fixed. Why? Because so how many states, for every state it is having the output as well as. So we are just writing how for the state Q0 it is having 0 and for the state Q1 it is having 0 and from the state Q2 it is having the 1 as an output symbols. So remaining all are same. So here from the state Q1 A as an input it is going to the Q1 and B as an input it is going to Q2 and Q2 from Q2 B A as an input symbol it is going to Q1 and for B input symbol it is from the state Q2 it is going to Q0. So this is the transition table for Murray mission. So by seeing this one, what we have to do in the sense, we have to construct a output transition for this. Output transition lambda star, lambda dash, Q0. We have to take how many states are there. For every state, for every input symbol, we have to draw the transition. So lambda of transition of Q0 comma A. So Q0 comma A, what we will get? So Q0 comma A, from the Q0, when we give A as an input symbol, it is going to Q1. So for Q1, what is the output? So here is the 0 is the output. And lambda dash. So how many input symbols are there? We have 2 input symbols. We have to check for 2 input symbols. Transition of Q0 comma B. So lambda of, so Q0 comma B. So it is going Q0 itself. So what is the output? For the Q0 it is 0. And lambda dash Q1 and we already finished Q0 and we have to take the Q1 and we have to give the input symbol. So for this one, transition of Q1 comma A. So what we will get? Lambda of Q1 comma A. So Q1 comma A it is going to Q1 itself. So what is the output for the Q1? 0. And lambda dash of Q1 comma B as an input. So lambda of transition of Q1 comma B, it is going to lambda of Q0. So Q1 comma B, it is going to Q2. So what is the output here? For the Q2, 1. So and what is the remaining state here? We require lambda dash of Q2 comma A as an input. So it is lambda transition of Q2 comma A. So what is the Q2 comma A? It is going to Q1, lambda of Q1. So what is the output for the Q1? 0. And lambda dash of Q2 comma B as an input, lambda transition of Q2 comma B. So lambda of Q2 comma B, it is going to Q0. So what is the output? 0. So let's find the same construction of transition table for this Mealy mission and let's So input string is, how many states are there? We have Q0, Q1 and Q2. So here what we have to take for the Mealy machine, for every input symbol or what is the output symbol we will get, and for every input symbol what is the output symbol we will get. So from Q0, when you give A as an input symbol, A as an input symbol, here A as an input symbol, B as an input symbol. And here Q0, A as an input symbol, it is going to Q1, and what is the output here? 0. And Q0, 0 as an output. So for the B input and A input. And from the state Q1, A as an input, it is having Q1 and 0 output. And here B as an input, it is having Q2, B as an input Q2, and it is having the output 1. And from Q2, A as an input, it is having Q1 and 0 as an output. And the same thing, Q2, B as an input, it is going to Q1, Q0 and 0 as a output. So same thing we have to draw the Mealy machine for this one. So Mealy machine. So by seeing this table, we will construct a Mealy machine with the input and output symbols. So here how many states are there? So starting with Q0 and Q1, Q2. So here 3 states are there. So we have to give every input symbols to every state. So when we give A as an input, it is going to Q0, Q1, and B as an input, it is going to B as an input, it is going to Q0 itself, and with the output 0. And Q0 state is finished. And coming to the Q1, so when you give A as an input, it is going to the self loop and with the output 0. And if you give B as an input symbol, it will move to the state Q2 and with the output symbol 1. And here we have finished Q1 state. And coming to the Q2 state, if you give 0 A as an input symbol, it is going to Q1 and with the output 0. And from the Q2, B as an input symbol, it is going to the Q0 with the output 0. So this is how we have converted Moore machine to Mealy machine. In next video, we will convert the Mealy machine to Moore machine. And these are the references. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.